Hey friends, I'm ready to do another art project with you. So this one is going to include a couple of different things. We're still going to use a piece of paper. Doesn't really matter what kind of paper it is this time. We'll be using glue and we will be using paint or markers, whatever you would like to use. So I'm using a thicker piece of paper again, just because that's what I have on hand, but whatever you have is perfect because you can choose whether you're going to use paint or markers or crayons or colored pencils or whatever you might have at home to be able to create some cool decorations. So one of the things I'm using is some school glue. Now I don't have Elmer's at home, but yours might look a little bit different with the orange and the blue. So you can use some school glue. You can see that mine is not all the way full, so I don't want a full thing of glue. I just want a little bit. So I could even go lower than this and dump some of it into a container for me to use later, but I'm choosing to go with what I have in there. And you're gonna want some kind of paint to mix in. So adults, it can be acrylic, it can be tempera, it can be washable, it can not. Whatever you're comfortable with is what y'all are gonna use. So I happen to have some leftover blue paint here, and this is actually some pouring paint. So this is just what I have on hand. I'm going to use this to mix into my glue, and then we're going to create some colorful glue. So let's try it together. This is what we're going to create the design on our paper with, and your design is going to look like whatever you want it to look like. So I've got my glue, I've got my paint, and I am going to squirt some in. Doesn't matter how much you use because yours is going to look different from mine. And yours is going to be whatever color you have. So boys and girls, if you do not have blue paint at home, it's okay. If you have black or red or yellow or any color, it doesn't matter. I'm choosing to put a bunch in there because I want to make it nice and colorful. All right, so I'm putting my cap back on. Use those finger muscles to twist, twist, twist. And I already snapped this shut. And look, I've already made a mess on my paper. That's okay. Mistakes happen, don't they? And we just have to be ready to clean them up or work with them. I'm not crying because I'm not upset. Mistakes happen and they help us to sometimes create the most amazing things. So now I'm going to shake, shake, shake my paint. Sometimes if you pat it against the heel or the palm of your hand, you can get some good shaking in. So you can see that my paint is turning into a different color. What color did I mix in there? I mixed in blue. So what color do you think my my glue is going to become? I'm making blue glue. Do you hear the rhyming words in that? When I say blue, you say glue. Blue, blue, say glue. Good job. Yep, I made some blue glue. So now I'm ready to put it onto my paper, and I'm gonna drizzle it on in any strange old design that I want to. And then I have to let it dry because the glue is gonna be raised up off of the paper, and that's what's gonna create the design for me to color or paint inside of. So I'm gonna tilt you down so that you can see. All right, we are ready. I have opened up my glue bottle and I am ready to start squirting on here now. Normally we would say just a little dot, right? We would say you only want to do a little dot to fit something on, to be able to stick something to your paper. But that's not the case here. We want to have some cool designs. So if you have a bigger glob, it's okay because it's just going to take a little bit longer to dry. But I am going to create some cool designs around my paper. And there's nothing perfect about it. It is all just whatever you feel like creating. Let your mind go. Parents, if you're watching this with your kid, it's like Bob Ross. We've got happy accidents, right? This is just creating some cool designs. I'm going to do some bigger blobs in some spots. And it's just going to take a little bit longer for those areas to dry. And that is okay. When it dries, we're going to have the super cool raised up design on our paper. And we're going to be able to paint or color inside of these spots. So I'm going to put mine to the side and I'm going to let it dry, and you do the same. And then pause this video and come back when it's all dry and we will color together. All right, so I've got my paper here that I put my glue pattern all over. There are these bigger spots that I put a lot of glue, but it's all dry, so it's not coming off on my fingers. It's just a little bit more raised up in those areas. I'm ready to start coloring, so I've got my markers here, and I'm gonna color in some of the different spots. So I think I'm gonna try to stay inside of my glue, and it's pretty easy to do that because it's raised up, so it's going to stop me from going into another area and keep a good border or boundary. So there's one spot. Now I could go over and continue coloring that same color into the next spot, but I am going to choose to use a different marker for the next area. So I think I'm going to choose a marker that doesn't look anything like that original one, and I'm going to color in my next area. I'm going to keep on going all over this until I am completely filled in, and then I'm going to start my video again to show you what it looks like when the whole thing is finished. So as you can see, while I'm working through, I use the same color, and I'm going to go around and pick different spots to put that color in so that I'm not continuing to cap and uncap my markers, because it's always important to put your marker cap back on when you're finished. This is the cool way that it turned out. Check this out. All these beautiful colors in here. I chose to do a different color in each of the spots. So there's orange here, but there's no orange next to it. I didn't do any sort of a pattern. I tried to just use most of my different colors of markers here and fill in, and now it kind of looks like beautiful butterfly wings or like a stained glass window in a church. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite projects, and I really hope that you have enjoyed making this with me. I can't wait to see pictures of what you have come up with. Have a great day.